Yo, good morning. So that's what came to my heart today. I'm just at one of the job sites. I'm just walking around. That's basically all I do now. Walk around and try to look important. And point at shit with a tape measure. Ooh, that's a nice finished blade. But life doesn't come with instruction manuals. So January 5th, 2020, my mom's passed away. And, my uncle was talking to me. And, he said, hey, you're taking it very well, right? And I was like, yeah, I told him I'm trying. I said, life doesn't come with an instruction manual. There's no blueprint how to live this life. We come into this world, man, we don't know anything, bro. And the sad part is the people who are raising us don't know anything either. They just know what they know. And they try to input what they know onto us, but they didn't really know how to do this life thing. So, we're very blessed to be in an age where we have a lot more access to information, especially a lot of the spiritual teachings that think about like this, right? If this was 500 years ago, how would you ever figure any of this stuff out? You wouldn't be able to go on YouTube or whatever and go look up Michael Singer or Eckhart Tolle or any of that. Really, you wouldn't be able to do any of that. You just have to live life and just butt your head a few times, and maybe if you're one of those rare individuals like Jesus Christ or something who came to a conclusion, figured that out, if not, it's just you kind of just stumble through life. But life doesn't come with an instruction manual, and the people who raised us, they didn't really know what to do either. So as an end result, you have us. Now we're here trying to figure out this life thing. Check this out, right? They teach you everything in school. They tell you how to do math. They teach you how to go get a job. Teach you how to fill out a time card. Tell you go to college. Go into debt, spend a bunch of money. That way you could get a job. Then you get married, then you get a wife and kids, and blah blah blah. That's a complete life. Success is defined by how much money you have, right? Oh, I'm successful if I acquire a bunch of things. I have a big house. Speaking of building a big house here, but it's happiness is defined by I get a job, I get a house, get this woman, and that's a successful life. And the thing about success is it's subjective. What is success to you, right? Success to someone might be just being at peace and going fishing somewhere, bro. It has nothing to do with any of that. They might just be like, hey, that's success to me. But they give us this broad idea of what success is, and it's usually just materialistic. How much money you could get, how much things can you acquire, right, before you die. It's just kind of a mad rush to feel. You remember those it's like this little machine thing, right? It has a plastic bubble over it, and they throw a bunch of dollar bills in there, and it has air, and it's just the dollars are flying everywhere, and you're just trying to grab as many dollars as you can before it's over. That's the way I kind of feel about how they teach us what success is in life and how to live life. It's just grab as much things as you can before you die. Party as much as you can. In the modern age now is party as much as you can, fuck as much as you can. And now that's success. But like I said, that's all subjective. That might be someone else's version of success. I don't know. But they have these broad terms of what success is supposed to be and what it's supposed to look like. So we go into our lives, our parents tell us, go to school, go to college, right? Blah, 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 make a bunch of money, and then retire. And maybe you have 5-10 years after that, then you die. And you basically spent your whole life just chasing things. So I don't know what your guys' version of success is, but the older I get, and I'm 34, I'm not some fucking old guy, I'm still relatively young. But, the older I get, success is happiness. How happy are you? They teach you all that shit, but they never tell you, teach you how to be happy, right? They never teach you how to just be at peace and being whole and complete as you are before you get anything. They never teach you that, and I bump my head throughout life, basically trying to follow that formula, get as much as you can, get as much money as you can. And I'm not really getting very much money, none of it, for me, how life wound up was like I would just try to chase all these things, and I'd be frankly trying to like acquire these things and relationships or money or whatever, and like, you know, experience. I was just hustling to try to do that, and I wound up winding up with nothing, you know. So, you know, God put me to a point where it was just like, hey, what you're trying to look for is like, we're all just trying to be at peace and be happy, right? And we go out here to try to find things that make us feel at peace and whole and happy, but it never lasts, does it? It never lasts. You could buy a brand new car, right? And then how long does that last before you just like don't give a shit about that car no more, man? And you're just like, damn, it's just another payment, you know? Or you try to like fuck as much as you can, right? Oh, I fucked like 100 chicks, which I haven't. I got a very low body count when it comes to women. But it's like, okay, like how many? Oh, I fucked 100 chicks, 200 chicks, 300 chicks. Okay, great. And you know, you see the same people. It's like, man, they don't seem at peace either. It's just like they're trying to fill the same void that we're all trying to fill, man. So we kind of got lied to. And it's not that we got lied to, it's just that the people who are telling us don't know either. They're just like us, completely and utterly ignorant. So, like I said, there's no instruction manual to life, right? And what is the main thing that we all want? We want to be at peace. We want to be happy. We want to be loved and feel love. That's what we want. We just think the path to that is to acquire as many things as we can. And as you can see, our modern world, how's that working out? Not very well. Come to the West, right? You know, obviously I live in the United States, California. We're in the most depressed time in human history. Like, depression is like off the chain. You can meet people who have all the money in the world and they're stressed and depressed. These people right here we're building a house for, you know how stressed they are about their money? Like, bro, I'm telling you right now, if the stock market crashed or something, bro, they'd probably hang themselves on this fucking roof, bro. Like, that's what I mean. It's just like, it's so fragile that one little thing can happen and you fall apart, because it's just like we're basing everything on like a false pretense that if I acquire a whole bunch of things, then I'll be happy. And I'm in no way telling you not to go try to get rich or anything or any of that. I'm not telling you not to do, I'm not saying that's wrong or that's the reason why or any of that. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just trying to say it's like we got the formula backwards, right? We're basically saying we need to acquire all these things and then we'll be happy. But we never like really tried to just be happy, you know, have gratitude and appreciate the things we have, appreciate the friendships we have in this life. And like, you know, if we have a good family, a solid family unit, we don't really seem to appreciate those things, right? We're just so programmed by like the media that we're just like, we just have to basically acquire a bunch of things and a bunch of experiences and then we'll be happy. But it's so fragile, because what if one of those things gets taken away? There goes your happiness, peace, and love and joy. It's gone. You know, your car get wrecked. You know, that happened to me. I had a really nice classic, or I call it a classic, a 97 F250 Power Stroke. Clean, so fucking clean, bro. It got totaled about 2 years ago, to the date actually, and it got totaled. You know, and it gave me a grand realization. I'm like, bro, all these things are fragile, man. Like, you can't base any of your happiness or your like contentment on any of these things. Not on any relationships, none of that. You know, you could be like, oh, I found the love of my life. What if she falls out of love with you, bro, and then she's gone? There goes all your peace, love, joy, and happiness, man. It's like we're basing it all on the wrong things. We're basing it in a world that's finite. Everything here is finite. Everything here is finite. Right? Money isn't really real. You know, it's finite. All our relationships, everybody we know is either going to leave or they're going to die. They're going to do one or the other. Well, they're going to do both. We're going to do both. If they don't leave, they're going to die. If they don't die, they might leave. So it's going to be one or the other. And that's how we're basing everything on. And, you know, we wonder why we're so, like, just unhappy, bro. Like, I've struggled with this shit for years, you know, because I struggled with depression for a long time. And I was in that like rat race, you know, just like, you know, maybe if I acquire all these things, then I'll be happy finally. And, you know, I got to a point, you know, in my mid-30s where I was like, bro, you have that inside of you. That happiness, peace, love, that's who you are. You know, so I was like, well, let me just try to be happy first, bro. let me just try to be happy first. Let me just have some gratitude, and let me just try to be happy first. But instead of like just chasing like these women all over the place, or just trying to get as much money as I can, or show off, like, oh, look at me, I'm doing this. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying from like, that's what I was doing, you know. But I was like, man, why don't I just try to be happy first? Why don't I have like show some gratitude and appreciation for like how far God's guided me? And I was like, let me just, I've been working on just trying to be happy first without anything, you know, and then anything else that comes is just a compliment, right? And that's why I say there's no instruction manual to life. The main thing we want is to have peace, love, joy, and happiness. We want to feel content. We want to feel at peace, and we want to feel like we don't need anything. Because when you don't need anything, let's say you got like the flyest woman on the planet, bro. Are you looking for a woman? No, you don't need it. You're like, why do I need it? I already have one, right? And it's like, or let's say you have like $1 billion in the bank. You're not really worried about money. You shouldn't be. Like, shit. But we see that too. Like, people with all the money in the world, they're just like, more money, more money, more money. That's like, damn, like, what are you gonna do with all that? You know, like, it's just kind of like, it just shows like how disharmonious we all are, man. Because we have it all and we're still chasing. We're still looking for something. We're still searching. We're still not happy. We're still not at peace. And we're still not content. You get what I'm saying here? So that's why I was just like, let me just try to be happy first, bro. That's about all I got to say in this video. Like I said, I just got another download. I'm just walking around here at work very slow. You know, I got promoted. It didn't make me any happier. But yeah, like I said, it's none of this is what brings happiness. It just gets your mind out of the way long enough. But that's been my like little path now. I'm like, well, let me just try to be happy first before I get the women, before I get anything, before I have anything. Let me just be grateful, you know, be grateful I'm in good health, in good shape. Same with y'all, that you're in good, you know, that you're actually just here and present, man, and you could just enjoy like life. Like, you could just come out here and just, you know, look at nature, you know, look at the sun, man. 93 million miles away, bro, and it gives us all life. You know, why don't we be grateful for that? Why don't we be grateful for the trees? Look at that. They give us oxygen. You know, they give us air to breathe. Without it, no life would exist. You know, we got water that falls out of the sky. I mean, how much more, like, you know, how much more beautiful is that? So, I mean, that's about it. I just wanted to, like, you know, speak my piece real quick. You know, just walking around on my job sites. You know, nothing going on, just kind of slow and boring. But let me know how that, like, you know, fits in your day, and hopefully I gave you a little bit of insight. And enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.